Piko. Oh, you're enthusiastically watching TV.
I'm watching a historical drama. Oh, it's so cool.
Hey, what's so cool?
The sound of their name. They have dignified and elegant surnames.
Ah, you mean the name of a high-class person in this era, such as Konoe, Takatsukasa, Sanjo.
It would be fantastic if our name were Sanjo Piko.
Well, we can't decide our last name.
How are last names determined? And I wonder, what kind of the last name is common?
Okay, so let's talk about the last names and their origin today. Let's take a look at the last names abroad before introducing the Japanese ones. What do you think is the most common last name among Americans?
Smith, right? I learned it at school.
Correct answer. Here are the top 10 American surnames. First place, Smith. According to statistics, Smith is the most common last name in the United States. It is said that there are more than 2 million people with the last name Smith, and nearly 1 in 100 people has it.
There are a lot of Mr. and Miss Smith.
Yes. The origin of Smith seems to mean craftsman in Old English. It is said that people who have ancestors of metal processing craftsmen, such as blacksmiths, goldsmiths, and silversmiths, often have the last name of Smith. Second place, Johnson. Johnson is the second most common last name in the United States. Johnsons came from the fact that John added son to his son's name. They didn't use their last names before.
Does that mean the people who have the last name of Johnson had an ancestor named John?
That's right. Third place, Williams. Williams is the third most common last name in the United States. It is said that Williams came from the word Williams, which means William's child. This surname has been derived from the name of a place. This is a common surname in the areas where Wales and Welsh immigrants settled.
I can feel the history of American immigrants from this last name.
Fourth place, Brown. Brown's last name is believed to be derived from the appearance of his ancestors. The last name Brown is thought to have been given by a person with brown skin or brown hair.
Simple and easy to understand.
Fifth place, Jones. The last name of Jones is also derived from his father's name, John, meaning child of John.
Again?
Sixth place, Miller. Miller is said to have the origin of being a flour miller.
This is a last name from which the profession comes.
Seventh place, Davis. Davis also came from Davis, which means Davis' child.
Your explanation is getting cut short.
I'm tired of explaining it because it's the same pattern. Eighth place, Garcia. Garcia is one of the common surnames in Spain. In the United States, with its racial part, there are surnames with various roots, such as Hispanic surnames. And Garcia is a surname that means spear. Cool. Ninth place is Rodriguez. 10th place is Wilson. They are also derived from the fact that the parents' names were given to their children.
It's the usual pattern. I found that the last name is often given because of a simple reason.
I agree. Aside from the last names of Americans, I found those of the Chinese are also interesting. The top 5 last names among the Chinese are Wang, Li, Zhang, Liu, and Chen. It is said that these top 5 last names make up over 30% of all registered households in China.
That's high.
The top 2 Wang and Li each have more than 100 million people, and the third-ranked Zhang has about 95 million people. People who have the last name Wang are on about the same scale as all the Japanese population.
It's amazing.
Then, let me introduce the last names of the Japanese. Each has a history that has lasted from generation to generation. It is said that there are more than 300,000 types of Japanese surnames. You may know your roots by knowing the origin of your surname. Origin of Japanese surname 1. Place name. The most common Japanese surnames are derived from place names.
Oh, I've heard of it. There are many people who have the same place name and the last name.
Origin of Japanese surname 2. Typography. Landscape. The second most common pattern from which a name is derived from the surname of the geographical features in which they lived, such as the landscape. Japan is a country blessed with a lot of greenery and nature. Therefore, mountains, rivers, fields, ponds, and forests derived from the terrain have become popular surnames.
It is like Yamada, mountain, field, Morikawa, forest, river, Ikeda, pond, field, Harada, plain, field, Kawahara, river, field, and so on.
Yes. However, nature such as rivers and mountains are everywhere in Japan. That is why many similar surnames are born.
With this pattern of surnames, it may be difficult to find the roots.
Yes. Origin of Japanese surname 3. Direction. Characters that indicate the directions of east, west, south, north, and directions such as front, rear, middle, right, and left are often used. This is because it shows the positional relationship of the houses in the same land.
This pattern may also be difficult to find the birthplace of an ancestor.
Origin of Japanese surname 4. Occupation. There are also surnames derived from the occupation as the origin of the last name. Inukai, dog owner, Torikai, bird owner, etc. are derived from the work of keeping animals. There is also a pattern in which ya means shop is added to the products that are in business, such as pot shop and key shops, to make them a surname. In addition, there are many surnames such as Amabe Kaifu means seaside, who was involved in the work of catching fish, and Yahagi means make arrow, from the work of making arrows.
These are the last names that we can easily understand the profession of their ancestors.
Yes. Origin of Japanese surname 5. A clan of Fujiwara. Does Piko know the last name with the word Fuji?
There are many. For example, Sato, Ito, Kato, Kudo.
That's right. There are also 斉藤、後藤、近藤、遠藤, Ando, and so on.
All have a Fuji character.
Many of these are derived from the clan of Fujiwara, a clan of ancient aristocrats. They include lower-ranking bureaucrats, and it was getting difficult to distinguish the names. That's why they have to give themselves a different surname from Fujiwara. From this, they created new surnames that combine their territory and occupation with Fujiwara's Fuji, while keeping the name of Fujiwara. Now, let me introduce the top 10 Japanese last names. 10th place, Kato.
Oh, it's a last name that has a connection to the clan Fujiwara because it has a character Fuji, right?
Yes, it is said to be the descendants of the clan of Fujiwara in Kaga region, Ishikawa Prefecture.
So it's a surname that combines their social status and location.
9th place, Kobayashi.
Kobayashi means a small forest, right?
Yes, this is believed to be the last name associated with the landscape. In particular, the place name Kobayashi is concentrated in Nagano and Gunma prefectures, and probably Kobayashi's ancestors are from this area. 8th place, Nakamura. The meaning of Nakamura is Naka, center, Mura, village. So it means the center of the village. Since they can be anywhere in Japan, it is said that the name Nakamura has easily spread nationwide.
It is typical that last names are derived from their location.
7th place, Yamamoto. Yamamoto means the foot of the mountain.
This is a last name from which the train is derived, right?
Yes. People who have the last name Yamamoto are concentrated in Western Japan. It is said that Yamamoto's ancestors lived at the foot of the mountain. 6th place, Watanabe. The surname Watanabe is related to the name of the place in the northern part of current Osaka city. Some descendants of the aristocrats left the city to become samurai and moved to this area.
This is a typical example of the last name related to the place name.
5th place, Ito. Ito is said to be the descendants of the clan of Fujiwara, who moved to the current Ise region in Mie Prefecture. This last name was a combination of the social status and the name of the place. 4th place, Tanaka. Tanaka's ancestors are believed to be related to agriculture.
This name means in the field, so it's easy to guess their roots.
Yes, we can know their profession and the scenery of the location. 3rd place, Takahashi. The meaning of this word is taka, high, hashi, bridge.
Where is the high bridge?
Actually, the word Takahashi appeared in an old poem called Manyoshu. This bridge was in present-day Tenri, Nara Prefecture. And it seems that noble people crossed this bridge in luxurious costumes. One of Takahashi's ancestors was the emperor's cook, and it seemed that he received this surname from the emperor. 2nd place, Suzuki. There are several theories about the origin of Suzuki's last name. It is said to be the descendants who used rice as an offering to a shrine in Kumano, Wakayama Prefecture. It seems to be the last name that is closely related to the shrine.
By the way, Suzuki, an automobile manufacturer, is also famous.
And first place, Sato. Sato is especially in eastern Japan, with nearly 2 million people nationwide.
In every class in school, there is at least one Sato. It's a very popular name.
Yes, it is considered to be the descendants of the clan of Fujiwara. Sato's sa comes from the post Saemon Nojo in the Heian period. They had a duty to guard the city. By the way, there are many presidents named Sato now, and the total sales of the companies run by different Satos are said to be 15 trillion yen.
Wow! Many Mr. and Miss Sato is propping up the Japanese economy.
Okay, I introduced the origin and ranking of the last names.
I learned the history hidden in the last names. By the way, our last names are determined before we were born, but our first names can be determined freely. My name was given by my owner, you, right?
Yes, I named you Piko.
I wonder why you named me Piko?
Parakeets sing P, P, so I put a P in your name.
Isn't it such a simple reason?
Yes, and Piko's ko is usually the name given to girls. Actually, when you were a baby, I thought you were a girl, so I gave you a girl's name. When you were 3, my veterinarian said, Piko is a boy. That's a funny memory.
What a pity. Poor me. I wish I had a more gorgeous name.
For example,
Elizabeth, Cleopatra, or Ekaterina. After all, my current name is the best.
I think so. Simple is the best.